Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1949 AN. Today's date is August 21st, 2019, and the title of the episode is Central Banks Around the World Are Panicking. Remember, think mirror. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about investing. The stock market is roaring, now at all-time highs, and people are making money hand over fist. Now is the time to take advantage of the roaring economy, and you can do this by learning to trade with Trade Genius. Trade Genius, over the last 30 days, has netted its traders over 114% gains from spot-on trades. Right now through August, for their back-to-school specials, you can save over 50% off their bundled specials, and/or use promo code SCHOOL for 40% off all non-bundled items. Check out TradeGeniusAcademy.com. Tell them X22 Report sent you. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we are definitely seeing a battle being waged right in front of us. And as we discussed before, the mainstream media is out there, and they are pushing recession like we've never seen before. Now, what's very interesting is normally they wouldn't do something like this. Normally, the Fed, the IMF, the mainstream media, they would never let you know that there's a recession coming. Now, all of a sudden, they're out there saying a recession is coming. Now, what's very interesting is they used to call those people conspiracy theorists who said, oh, look, the economy's not doing well. The numbers that are being put out there, they're manipulated, and it looks like we're heading into a recession. Now, they're the ones who are doing this, which tells us that this entire system was always based on an illusion. And Trump has the control of the entire system. Now, Trump and the Patriots, they know exactly what the mainstream media is trying to do, what the central bank is trying to do. And the central banks, they are pushing so hard, and the mainstream media, they're pushing so hard because they're in a deep panic. Remember, their plan was to raise the interest rates in 2019 going into 2020 and have the entire economic system completely implode on itself. That plan did not work. It's completely out the window. And this is all they have left. Now, if Trump has more rate cuts, has more stimulus, what do you think the economy is going to do? The economy statistically is going to look amazing. He knows this. The Patriots know this. The central bank knows this. The mainstream media knows this. And they're trying to head this off before it happens. Now, look, we had an interest rate cut. Was it enough? Absolutely not. But when we look at housing, what just happened? Well, we had 16-month losing streak. Then all of a sudden, the interest rates were dropped. And all of a sudden, we had a plus 0.6% rise in existing home sales. They know that if he gets his way, which he will, it's game over. This is why they're pushing this so hard. And they're going to push as hard as they possibly can. But guess what's going to happen? People are going to look at this and go, the market just went from 26,000. Now it's up to 28,000. Now it's up to 29,000. And what is the mainstream media talking about? The economy is doing fantastically. Now, remember, the stock market's not the economy. But the mainstream media, the central bank, the deep state, they've been brainwashing the people into making them think that is the economy. And what are they going to say? No, it's not the economy now. We've been manipulating it all this time. Everything that Trump's putting out there, it's all fake. All Trump has to do is turn around and say, listen, I'm using everything that you gave me. There's no difference here. You're telling me everything that you've been doing for the past 20 years is fake? No matter what happens, he wins. They can't win right now. They don't have the control. And by continually pushing out recession, you can tell they don't have the control. Even the IMF. The IMF is telling Trump that his economic plans are not going to work the way he thinks it's going to work. Yeah, they are. They're very worried because what happens when you lower interest rates? What happens when you start stimulus? The bubbles get bigger. What is Trump and the Patriots trying to do? Number one, He's trying to keep the economic system chugging along long enough, which will happen. Number two, he wants the central bank system to destroy itself. Isn't he doing it all in one shot? Yes. What is happening at the same exact time? Gold is moving up. Absolutely beautiful. Now, Trump, he's out there and he is continually blaming the Fed for what is happening in the economy. Remember, every time the market comes down, he's going to blame the Fed. And we're going to see the market bob up and down, like today it's up. He tweeted out the following: doing great with China and other trade deals. The only problem we have is Jay Powell and the Fed. He's like a golfer who can't putt, has no touch. Big U.S. growth if he does the right thing. Big cut. But don't count on him. So far, he has called it wrong and only let us down. We are competing with many countries that have a far lower interest rate, and we should be lower than them. Yesterday, highest dollar in U.S. history. No inflation. Wake up, Federal Reserve. Such growth potential almost like never before. He continued. So Germany is paying zero interest and is actually being paid to borrow money, while the U.S., a far stronger and more important credit, is paying interest and just stopped, I hope, quantitative tightening. Strongest dollar in history. Very tough on exports. No inflation. Where is the Federal Reserve? Think about what he's doing right now. He is out there saying, listen, all the other countries, they have very low interest rates. Some countries are in the negative territory. The United States is not there. We're not even close to zero yet. We're getting there, but not there yet. And he's saying, if the Fed doesn't do what he wants, the economy will crash. Where is the Fed right now? Well, they're stuck. They're cornered. Because if they start raising the rates and they do the opposite of what he says, what happens to the economy? It falls apart. He's got them. If he keeps them where they are and the economy falls apart, he's got them. The Fed has no choice right now but to lower rates and start stimulus. That's it. Now, the other benefit of all this, as he continually lowers the rates, and the United States is borrowing at 0% once it gets there, guess what? The Federal Reserve, pretty much obsolete at this point. Why do we need them? Why? So they can control interest rates? No. They're at zero. We're borrowing at zero. What else do they do? Nothing. There is no reason to even have the Federal Reserve. Now, Trump and the Patriots, they understand that the mainstream media, deep state, central bank, they are pushing as hard as they possibly can to push the United States into recession. And they don't care if it goes into recession, as long as it hurts Trump. Now, Trump tweeted out the following: the fake news lamestream media is doing everything possible to create a U.S. recession, even though the numbers and facts are working totally in the opposite direction. They would be willing to hurt many people, but that doesn't matter to them. Our economy is so strong. Sorry. And he's absolutely right. The deep state, the central bank, the mainstream media, they don't care who they hurt. They don't care if the country goes into a recession, depression. Remember, this was their plan from the beginning. They don't care if everyone loses their job, everyone loses their wealth. It doesn't matter to them. They're exposing themselves right now. They're showing their true colors. And this is what Trump and the Patriots do. They push the central bank, the mainstream media, the deep state, into corners. And what they do at that point is they show what they're really about, what their plan is really about. And we know from the beginning that this was their plan. Jim Jordan is calling them out. Trump is calling them out, bringing attention to these players, letting everyone know that their goal is to bring the country into a recession. And they know that Trump has the upper hand. They know that he has the ability to use all the tools they were using before to make the economy look absolutely incredible. This is why they started the push right now. Remember, they were hoping to push the interest rates up starting in 2019, around the springtime moving into summer. And we know that didn't happen. The opposite happened. And that's why they're pushing their agenda, their narrative right now, because they know once Trump has the Fed cut rates, and once the Fed starts stimulus, they can't even talk about a recession. How do you talk about a recession when the market is at 28, 29, 30,000 points? How do you talk recession when unemployment is the lowest we've ever seen? How do you talk recession when the real estate market starts to pick up, which we're already seeing because of the rate cuts? Remember, that brings more people into the marketplace to purchase a home. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, isn't this bad? Isn't he creating bubbles? Isn't this going to hurt every single person? Well, think about what he just did. He signed an executive order today that says any severely disabled veteran, they do not have to repay their student loan. Now, if the economy crashes after the 2020 election, and it's because of the Fed, what do you think he's going to do then? And if you bring in sound money like gold, compared to the fiat currency, guess what? You have an edge. The entire country has an edge. And I do believe this is what they are planning to do. We're watching gold move up. We're not seeing it manipulated anymore. We're watching Trump completely corner the Fed, the mainstream media, the deep state all at once. The patriots, Trump, they will not take the blame because he is the one pointing the finger at all of them. And he's telling the Fed what needs to be done. No matter what happens here, he wins. Now, when the economy, and I'm talking statistical numbers, start to move up, and we enter the 2020 elections and the economy's roaring, and the mainstream media is continually talking about recession, they're going to look like fools. The Fed right now, who listened to Trump, they will be looking pretty good, and Trump will say, see, the Fed did what I wanted them to do, and the economy is fantastic. The mainstream media have no idea what they're talking about. Now, at this point, he'll just let the Fed do whatever they want, because now he has complete control of the narrative. Everyone understands the mainstream media, they have no idea what they're talking about. The Fed, the economy only looks great today because of what Trump told the Fed to do. If the Fed reverses at this point and doesn't do what Trump says, the economy crashes. So if Trump says, listen, don't raise the rates, don't stop stimulus, and the Fed says, you know what, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stop stimulus right now. The economy's very, very strong. We don't need this anymore. Guess what happens? Everything starts to fall apart. And again, Trump and the Patriots, they win. Gold continually rises. All of these pieces are moving together. And the Patriots are completely in control. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.